Last day of factoring, this is the easiest day. This is when we have a trinomial and it doesn't have a leading coefficient in front of that x. There's just an invisible 1 there. Let's do this first one the long way, and then we'll jump to the shorter way. So earmuffs problem, just like that first day of section 4.3, we have an invisible 1 times that negative 63. Blank times blank equals negative 63. Blank plus blank comes from the middle there, positive 2. Okay, our two numbers are 9 and 7. One of these has to be a negative. We want to keep the two positives, so the 7 is the negative. Right? If we did our two fractions where we take this and we drop that squared there. So we have x over 9, x over negative 7. We can't simplify either of these, so we end up with x plus 9, x minus 7. Now the shortcut is that when we don't have a coefficient here, or when we always just have that invisible 1 there, our parentheses are just going to be these two numbers. So once we get those two numbers, we can jump right to x plus 9, x minus 7. All right, so number 2, we have blank times blank equals negative 42. Okay, and those two numbers add to negative 1. 6 and 7. Let's make the 7 negative to make that 1 negative. Okay, at this point, we can write our parentheses. X minus 7, x plus 6 equals 0. We don't have to do the fractions for the easy earmuff problems. Okay, it does have an equal to 0 though, so we have to solve these. Okay, and if we actually run through all that work where we solve it out, we're going to see that it just ends up being the opposite of the two numbers that we found for our blanks on the right there. Okay, so we end up getting positive 7, negative 6, which is the opposite of what we have up here. Okay, so if we have to solve them, it's just the opposite of these. If we have to factor it, it's just the same of these put into the parentheses. Number 3, you can earmuff it. Blank times blank is 36, adds to negative 12, negative 6, negative 6. Okay, also just as a refresher, we could square root these since this is a perfect square trinomial, x and 6. Okay, if we multiply those, we get 6x. Doubled, does it equal the middle? Okay, it does. We take this sign, put it in between them. X minus 6 squared. Number 4, it has an equal sign, so we need solutions, not a factored answer. Okay, let's move everything to one side of the equation first. Y squared minus 49 equals 0. This one should look like a difference of two squares to you guys. There's two things with a minus sign in between them. Square root both of them. Y plus 7, y minus 7. Okay, now we solve it since it's equal to 0, and we get 7 and negative 7.